We're still on quarantine, but this week on Tito Ortiz Uncaged, we're going to bring you some of my greatest hits outside of the cage. Hope you like it. So one of the first films I was able to do was Cradle to the Grave with Jet Li and DMX. This is when MMA pretty much just got into the mainstream audience. Chuck Liddell, Randy Couture, myself, we got to fight Jet Li. It was really, really fun. But it gave me a totally different aspect of movie production. How they shoot, camera lighting, seeing the actors get an opportunity to say their lines over and over and over again. You see cuts after cut after cut after cut. And it really caught my eye. I really wanted to get more into doing films. And this was my first film that actually I was able to do. Me and Chuck Liddell did a fight scene. We competed against each other. And I got my hand raised. But I remember we were doing it, and the fight choreographer was like, here, let's try this. He like gave us a little, punch, kick, takedown kind of situation. And I was like, wait, hold up. Can we just try something? And I remember telling Chuck Liddell, I go, Chuck, let's just throw punches, but just take all the power off of them. Just catch yourselves right before, and, we'll do the takedowns, we'll do the submissions. All the other spectators that were watching, they were like, were you guys really smart? Were you guys really punching each other? And we weren't. But to really fake out the crowd, to make them think like we're fighting, we must have done a pretty damn good job. Got a chance to fight with Jet Li, and all the guys come in, they're all getting their butt kicked, get kicked out of the cage and so forth. And I was the muscle coming in. I was the fighter coming in. And he goes to punch me, and it doesn't hurt. He goes to punch me on the forehead, and I block it. Then he goes to kick me, and I grab his leg, and I swing him from one side to the other. And there's some movie magic being done there. There was another part of the bit where I was pulling him. I tried to pull, and I held on, and he ended up hitting me in the balls, and that was the part that he found my weakness. I got some big nuts, and he hit him. So I guess the moral of the story is, you attack the growing. And that's what I tell my kids: attack the growing, punch and run.
Anyway, Jordan and I shot a deodorant commercial with our all-time favorite UFC champ, Tito Ortiz!
So the next opportunity I got to work behind the camera was on Mad TV. And it was with Bobby Lee and Jordan Peele. And it was funny, it was comedy. And I was playing the fighter, of course. And we were doing big man deodorant.
And action. Wow, UFC champ Tito Ortiz. You smell good. How do you do it?
With big man deodorant. When it comes to body odor, it kicks butt.
Are you okay? Yeah. I'm sorry, man.
So in the 2000s, when that show was hot, and both those guys became huge stars in Hollywood. I got to say a few lines, and then I kicked them, and blood came coming down his face. They're great comedians, and I got to kick them as hard as I possibly could, and they took it. But it was thanks to big man deodorant. So my next film that I did, and it was actually my first speaking role, was The Crow, Wicked Prayers, with David Boreanaz, Edward Furlong, Tara Reid, Danny Trejo, and myself. It was a great experience, and I learned a lot from it. I played Famine, a kid who pretty much got beat down really young, and as he got older, he lifted all the time, and he tried to get stronger. And this is the things that I learned through my acting classes, was to feel the 20 questions of who this person is, where he came from, who was his mom, who was his dad, how he was treated as a kid. These little questions to kind of build the character. Another one of the films I got to do was Silencer. It was with Johnny Messner, Danny Trejo, Chuck Liddell, and myself. Me and Chuck Liddell were never on set together, ever. Johnny Messner was a very, very cool guy. He took a lot of time with me when it came to some of the scenes. He said, less is more. And I learned a lot from that film also. My of course, having an opportunity to work with Danny Trejo again, it's like life comes full circle. I mean, he's one of the biggest stars ever. He's a great guy. He's a straight OG. I mean, this is a guy that came from prison and got hired on Heat as to be a person to kind of show him what was the right things to do. Like say, Danny Trejo is an awesome man, awesome individual. So my next 3 films that I do, they were back to back to back. They all happened in 1 year. The first film I did was Above the Shadows. I just had neck surgery. So some of the other actors that were in this film, Above the Shadows with me, was Alan Richardson and Megan Fox and Olivia Thirlby. I went to New York. We did a bunch of choreographed stuff prior to that. All of a sudden, I felt like I was getting ready for a fight again. But it was fun. I really pushed myself as hard as I possibly could. I remember coming back home for a couple days. Then I had to fly back to shoot the rest of the film. And we shot it in about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. We got it done in 2 weeks in New York. When it was over, let me tell you, my body was just like, thank God it's over, because I pushed myself. I remember sometimes during the shots that we're doing inside the cage, the fight scenes, and we'd have to do it over and over and over. And there's times that we shot it, anywhere from 15 different takes to 10 different takes. I mean, but we just had to get the right camera angles. They're using 3 different cameras. I know Alan played Ninja Turtle and a few superheroes, but he wasn't going to beat me in the cage. It wasn't going to happen. So the next film I got to shoot was Tala Peri, Medea Boo 2. Now there's an interesting story about this. So this is right before St. Patrick's Day, my boy's birthday. We're in Panama, and we're with Poker Stars. One of my friends, Tracy, we're all out there. And I get a call from my agent. She says, Tala Peri wants you to shoot a film with him. You're his best friend. You and him play a joke on your guys' daughters. And I was like, that sounds cool. They offered me a ridiculous amount of money. But the deal was I had to leave the next day. And I was in Panama with my family. So I was just like, gosh, do I do it? It's Tala Peri though. How can't you do a Tala Peri film? I told my agent, let's get it done. The next day, my family flew home, and I flew to Atlanta from Panama. And I remember walking into Tala Peri's office, and he had the script, handed it to me, and said, we start shooting tomorrow. So my last film that I shot, and this is 3 films in 1 year, was Trauma Center with Bruce Willis, superstar. How could you go and do a film with Bruce Willis? I got a great opportunity to do it. And I can't take anything away from Nikki Whalen, because she did an amazing job. And of course, my partner in the film, Texas Battle, who was my partner as an officer. But we were 2 bad cops. Bruce Willis was a good cop, of course, head detective, and he was trying to find the killers. It was a cat and mouse game where Nikki Whalen was the mouse, and me and my partners were the cats, and we were chasing them down. So as we're still on quarantine, that film's still available on Amazon. You guys can watch it and check it out. Hope you enjoy it. It's amazing to look back at my history and to see the movies I did while I was fighting, because it was tough to juggle both of them at the same time. But it was fun. It's been a great learning experience, and I think I'm able to catapult into something bigger and better in the future. It's just getting that opportunity, getting that chance. What would be the next step is directing and producing. But what I really want to do is write my life story. That's what I want to do. I want to write my life story because it's so damn interesting. Just because as a kid who came up from the streets to become the world champion, I think people would be captivated by my life story. So that'll be something that I'll have to work on here in the near future, of writing my film. Well, that's a wrap on this week of Tito Ortiz Uncaged. Hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure you click the subscribe and notification button for future episodes of Tito Ortiz Uncaged, and we'll keep bringing it to you 1 week at a time.